Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing on a Halloween theme called Down the Witch's Road, which is inspired by the wonderful Agatha all along. A bit of a Marvel geek over here, so I absolutely adored that. I'm not actually a Halloweeny person, but I really enjoyed that. Mainly because I'm a musical theatre person and the music in it really captured my attention. So, all the bits and pieces you see here are from the very talented Natalie May scrapbooking. And she's come out with a whole range of really beautiful Halloweeny type, vintagey, grungy collage pages. So I've stuck them in my 6x6 journal. And I've left about 3 pages in between this front page and back page. So the one with the window on it, I think, is called Haunt, and then the one at the back is called Crypt. Um, and then this one is called Floorboards or Creaky or something like that. The once you go onto the site, you'll be able to see them. Anyway, what I have done is in those in between pages, I have just torn off the pages, so I kind of get like a mountainy grass like leading towards this tree at the back to create this path, because the words that I wanted to put with this were the lyrics from the song in that show called Down the Witch's Road, which they sing every episode in different styles, which again, musical theatre nerd Patti LuPone, um, just amazing. You can sort of see here I'm doing a bit of a piecemeal of putting in the collage pages. I really don't mind how they're going. Text in a collage setting like this has really never really bothered me if it goes left, right, up, down, sideways, because I always use it as a pattern rather than as something to read, which I know drives people who don't necessarily understand art journaling or arting, because they want to read it. They see text, they want to read it. Um, yeah, so it's just something that I'll put in anyway. It's for a textual image. I wanted to get sort of a hand tinted, again, to sort of stay with the vintage 1800s type feel. So I'm using the Dilutions, is it cake sticks? Water soluble sticks, and painting them in, just sort of mixing the colours together, being really blasé about how it's going down. You'll notice some has gone onto the backgrounds, and I've just wiped them off with a wet wipe. Because they're sealed with gel medium, it's really not going to tint it all that much, and I do want it to be a bit grungy and tinted in different colours. And you can sort of see just rubbing it on and off as you go. So now I'm going to stick down the witches. So all these witches that you see are again from Natalie May, and they're cuttables. So they're not like the rice paper, collage paper. They're actually on cardboard. I did cut them out previously because no one needs to see me cutting all those out. Um, they're from 2 sheets, cuttables A and B. I think it's just called Witches A and B. And I've just trimmed out all around them. They kind of, when they come in the sheet, actually look like vintage photos. So you can kind of see the shape of them. So you could use them as vintage photos if you wanted to, or you can cut them out individually. I'm just sort of piling them up and gluing them on. My perspective on these isn't necessarily correct in all of them, because I've got some quite large ones and quite small ones sort of mixed up in between, but it still gives me that sort of, it's leading through to something. It looks like they're at different parts of a path. Just to hide the stark white in the back, I'm using the same colours I've painted on the front as well. And while it looks like it sticks out like a sore thumb here, it actually does blend in quite nicely. It's actually quite surprising in the end. They sort of become nothing, and you really don't notice them as you flip over the pages, whereas if I'd left them white, they would have really stuck out. Just to blend in some of those cut edges, I've just pasted a little bit more of the collage paper over the top. And again, that's another way of sort of blending it in, making it all sort of seem a little bit seamless as you go through. And you get that idea as you flip that you've got, all these witches heading towards a common goal. Just one of my little pet peeves is when I'm cutting out images, I like to cut them out really close to the edge. And if it has got like between arms and so on spaces that have got no color, I like to cut them out so I can sort of see through it. It makes a little bit more sense to me. I then wanted a bit of a starry, moony night, so I've gone in with my white paint and just done a bit of a splatter all over it. The moon I've glued in the background came off one of those cuttable sheets. There was a moon behind one of the ladies, so I cut it out and stuck it on my page because I hate wasting anything. And there you have it. So really, really easy sort of interactive e-page. The longest part of this in reality was actually writing out the quote and working out what would fit in and what wouldn't. I also missed out one of my little ladies, so I stuck her in the end. So I decided I was tossing up what to use, but I actually ended up using silver. I'm really glad I did because this is the Life of Color chrome pen. You can get lots of chrome pen, leafing pens, all do the same thing. But the thing I really like about it is when you move it, it kind of disappears into the page and then you get this beautiful bright coloring over the top. So even though this is very text heavy and going over everything, again, it's adding to that sort of the text is part of the pattern or the fabric of the page, if that makes sense. As I'm writing along, just trying to fit in as much as I can. I just kept writing however much I could. And of course you could choose, like on those double layouts, you could write straight across the page or you can write it on a page as I've been doing for each of them. And then going in and writing the last little bit. I do dry it off as I go along. It does dry pretty quickly, but just giving it a little bit of a blast means you're definitely not going to have any transfer onto the other page. I also decided just to help it pop off the page a little bit more because it does sort of have that little, you can sort of see up here, some of it blends in and some of it doesn't. And it really is dependent on the light. So I've got a light shining in this straight ahead, which is why it's quite bright in this. Whereas you can see where the light isn't quite hitting it, it's a little bit duller. By putting the black around it, it just helps push it out of the background so you can see what it is. Because in the long run, even though I love the witches and I love the imagery on this, it is actually the words, I suppose, that is what I want people to pay attention to, because it tells the story of what's happening on these pages about them working together in earth, fire, wind, water, guiding each other, helping each other down the road as, you know, friends, companions, and so on. So that's where this page has come from and the inspiration for it. So you can do this in any way. You can, I'm sure I have lots of collage books with similar things, but just use that sort of inspiration of layering it up so you've got a common goal that your figures are all sort of heading towards in the same direction to get that movement across the page. So that's the first page. This is the second page turned over, and you can see how those images have sort of blended into the background now as you turn over each page, and then on the final page for the final part. And here is a flip through in real life, so you can see how they sort of build up on top of each other and move through the journal. So I hope this inspires you to try making an interactive page of your own. Until next time, bye for now.